What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's number one couch detective, and I'm here for the news. And today, we're going to be going over several news clips, and we're going to be starting out with LeBron James Jr. He has a son who's a McDonald's All-American and chose to go USC for college. He's projected as a lottery pick. That means was projected to be one of the top picks in the 2024 NBA draft. He went into cardiac arrest here recently, and the speculation is out there, conspiracy theories. And just because something is a conspiracy theory, that doesn't mean that it's true. That because he possibly took the vaccine, and, LeBron James did say him and his family took the vaccine. We don't know if they really took it or didn't take it, but let's assume that he did, and his whole family took it. And this boy went into cardiac arrest. Then the public will need to know if there's any correlation between the two. Now, a lot of times when these things happen, there's a lot of cover-ups that happen, Just like with the Buffalo Bill man, Damar Hamlin, who had went to cardiac arrest on the field, had a heart attack. He also took the jab. There's been several other people who've had heart problems who took the jab. Now, it could be complete coincidence. Maybe. 100% allegedly, it has something to do with some of these jabs/vaccines. But let's take a look at the clip.
The son of superstar LeBron James suffered cardiac arrest during college basketball practice.
It's stunning. It's shocking, really. A guy in such great shape.
Bronny James was practicing here at the Galen Center on the USC campus when the 911 call was made just before 9:30 a.m. Monday morning. He was reportedly unconscious and was rushed to the hospital.
And also, let me say this. There was something happened recently with Jamie Foxx, and people were trying to make the correlation. Could it be the jab? Now, I've had conversation with friends and family members about taking that jab before. When all this stuff was going on, I'm not a Johnny come lately. When that stuff was going on in the moment, I was telling people, hey, man, it takes 10 to 15 years for them to clear normally a vaccine, because you have to do long-term research on the effects of what it can have, because you might have the first 4 or 5 years, there's nothing. First 4 or 5 years, there may be no problems whatsoever. 5th, 6th, and 7th year could be all type of problems, because the body is pretty resilient, and it can cover up for some things for a while, but after a while, some things begin to break down. Which we've seen all the videos over time of, pharmaceutical companies have to pay out a lot of money because, something that they said was good and effective, it turned out to be, your pancreas liable to fucking collapse, or your heart is no good, or your lungs, or your eyes, or you can't see out of your left eye. Yeah, your right big toe don't work no more. It's always something with this, but yeah, you just never know. But we'll see. They most definitely, no matter what happens, they will not make the correlation between the two. It'll be up to the public to do that.
He is now in stable condition and no longer in ICU, the James family said in a statement. Just 2 weeks ago, Bronny was beaming on stage with his legendary father at the ESPY Awards. Dr. Holly Anderson is an attending cardiologist.
Let me say this about the James family. They also Luciferians too. There's no doubt about that. 100% allegedly, they are Luciferians too. And you see LeBron James, he believes in in Luciferianism, they don't believe in the sex. They do not. They believe everything is sexually fluid and everybody's the same. And you can see LeBron James had on his little pearl necklace, and he was dressed in all black, and his son was dressed in all red.
Just 2 weeks ago, Bronny was beaming on stage with his legendary father at the ESPY Awards.
Hey, and from anybody who watches my channel, tell me I'm not crazy. I talk about this all the time. The color schemes are red, black, and white. LeBron James got on black, Bronny James got on red, and Bryce James in the back got on white. That is not by accident. That is completely coordinated and on purpose. And yes, the whole family has been raised under that religion of Luciferianism. There's no doubt about that.
Holly Anderson is an attending cardiologist at New York Presbyterian Hospital.
Cardiac arrest occurs when the heart goes into a rhythm that is so fast that the heart stops feeding blood to the rest of the body, and all blood flow to the brain stops.
It's not known what led to the 18-year-old USC freshman's cardiac arrest. LA Daily.
And they won't even make the assumption that it could be. You know what I mean? They ain't even saying like, well, maybe, the vaccine, we just got to look into. They won't even say that. They will not say that whatsoever, because a lot of these major companies are in the pockets of the pharmaceutical companies, and they all in cahoots together.
Reporter Tarek Fatal.
One of many things that Ronnie and his family are thinking is, one, he's lucky to be alive. That's the truth. And the second one is, how does this impact his long-term career basketball goals?
That's very much true. I don't know how that affects his long-term basketball goals, but it ain't good. But, hopefully the young man makes a full recovery and moves on and able to play basketball again. But you just never know. You just never know. But let's take a look at this next clip. Body cam footage shows moment cops find a bucket with a severed head in it and penis. Now, there are a lot of people, they have their sexual kinks and fetishes. And this is one of those cases where that type of S&M and B&M or whatever the hell that shit's called, of the sexual torture of people like having their nuts tied up and slapped with a spike stick and all that wacky ass shit that people are into. This is one of those cases that it went entirely too far. This is Satanism that didn't went entirely too far. Let's take a look at the clip. Did you see the way that officer looked down when he looked at that bucket? He looked like, I know I ain't seeing what I think I'm seeing in this goddamn bucket. I know this ain't a penis in the head. This lady done made a real dickhead. What is going on? Did you see the way the officer looked down at that bucket? Watch the officer again. Watch the officer again. Look at him. Well, he like, no, I know I ain't seeing what I think I'm seeing. I don't even want to. He turned his flashlight. The officer turned his flashlight. He didn't even want to put the flashlight in the bucket. He didn't even want to come back like, I know damn well these people ain't got dicks and heads in the same bucket down here. What the hell is going on? He had to turn the flash. He knew he had to turn it back on. He was like, God, he should have never turned it off in the first place. He turned it off in complete dismay. He just was completely astonished. He don't even know what to do. Look. He don't even know what to do. Let me say this. This lady is into witchcraft, devil worship, energy stones, and every other kind of wacky, far-off pagan religion you could possibly be involved in. Yes, this is a Luciferian / witch. And he looks like one of them. It said police discovered her boyfriend's decapitated head and castrated penis in a bucket in his mother's basement. He looked like one of them people who put on one of them leather dog masks and let somebody slap his nuts with an iron rod for hours until he's bloody. There's a lot of sick people out here. But this obviously is one of those things that went entirely too far. Succubus 25 is accused of strangling a 25-year-old Shaden Thyron to death during a 2022 meth-fueled BDSM romp. And it looked like one of them penis rings. He had small penis. If you can fit that around. But Obviously, oh, now maybe that was a strangulation chain. So, goddamn, you can fit your shit through that hard. You never had nothing anyway. But yeah, that meth, and I've talked about this about that methamphetamines. That methamphetamines is a fuel for all type of sexual depravity. People who are the homosexual community, methamphetamine is huge. In the pedophilia community, methamphetamines is huge. Why is it huge? Because it throws away all your inhibitions, and you don't feel no guilt about what you're doing. You're able to just be free in all of the type of sick, disgusting, low down, dirty, deprived things that you possibly can imagine. But as you can see, he's showing the little chain. And then sexually abusing his body before dismembering and mutilating it with a bread knife. Oh my gosh, she couldn't even get like some shit that was sharp. She got a little dull ass bread knife. Oh man. Said then sexually abuse his body. What? I mean, what? What was she doing to his body? Man, this shit is sick. This is sick. With the bread knife now, y'all. Cut his penis off and head off with a bread knife. That's that methamphetamines, man. That's why people drug of choice is driving them nuts. It's killing them. See, look, in the 90s, black people had a problem. It was the crack era. It was a lot of different people using crack, Asian, Mexicans, white, but majority, it was us. You could put it on us. I can't deny that. But this meth, these new drugs are trank and fentanyl, and this is more of a white thing. Other people do use it, no doubt about that. But it's more white people who use it than anything. My bad. Let me go back to this woman one more time at the end of this video. Because I just want to just let y'all know this lady is truly. As you can see there, she's in all black. She got black hair. I don't think she's a naturally black-haired woman. She colored her hair black. Got the black earrings. She got the black shirt on. Yeah, this lady's a witch. And she's in satanic things all day, every day. There's no doubt about that. Let's look at this. I covered this the day before yesterday. New body cam video released from Ohio police K9 attack. This is what it was a black man driving a big rig, and he got pulled over, and the police had their guns drawn on him or whatever, and he put his hands up, and they was telling some of the other troopers was telling the man not to release the dog. They released the dog anyway. Now this man ended up getting fired. So this black man, whoever he is, got a huge lawsuit coming. He about to get paid. He gonna be able to retire that fucking truck. Yeah.
My new video helps show why an Ohio officer.
And he done dyed the shit out of his hair. My goodness.
Off the job now. Sick of police canine on a Memphis truck driver during a traffic stop. That video providing another angle of the dog attack, which is
his hair ain't that black.
We're stopping the video before it gets too graphic, though. And while it might still be hard to watch, we think it's important to show you what happened. Let's look. Watch the dog, y'all.
The dog ran the wrong way. He like, who, the man who surrendered? You can't be talking about him, can you? Look at the dog went the wrong way. He said, you can't be talking about the surrender, nigga, is you? Look at the dog. Watch the dog go the wrong way. He like, get him. Look. He like, no, here, look at the dog. The dog said, you can't be talking about him. This nigga got one knee. Look.
That's when the attack began. The police agent during his role surrendered to authorities against Wade following a 30-minute pursuit. This happened on July 4th. Officers were trying to stop him because his truck was missing a rear mud flap. The truck did not stop until after officers deployed spike strips. Rose got out of the semi, hands in the air, complying with demands. That's when K-9 officer Ryan Speakman from the Circle Hill Police Department walked up with his police dog. Being warned by another officer not to release the dog, Speakman did exactly that, and that dog mauled Rose. We're told Rose is out of the hospital and recovering from his injuries.
Well, they told the man not to release the goddamn dog, and he released the dog anyway. You don't release the dog. Now you done lost your job. Was all that really worth it? Was it worth it to release it? Because I'm telling you something, like I said, every officer is a little bit different. Some officers show up, they just want to do their job and get back home. You have other officers who indulge in everyday things. Some people are far right-wingers. Some people are, they're on the fringe of Democrat and Republican. They're more centrist. But you get every walk of life when you deal with officers. Officers ain't never the microcosm of the rest of society. So some of them are racist, and some of these people are most definitely going to sick dogs on you. They're going to beat on you. They're going to hit you and kick you when they get the chance. They're going to disrespect you. And then there's other officers, like I said, who just show up and want to do the job. Every black person has been pulled over by a cool white officer. He wasn't tripping. This is why I pulled you over, such and such. Okay. And he going about your way. Not that big of a deal. That most black people, I would say almost every black person has been pulled over by an asshole white cop too. And he acts a certain way. And you've been pulled over by an asshole black cop who might be acting a certain way. But like I said, they're all individuals, and it's tough to try to paint them all as the same because everybody's a little bit different. But that cop that lost his job and threw it all away, his pension is gone. I don't know if his pension is gone. I don't know. That pension shit is real finicky and funny. I have to ask my partner about that. Ask my partner Alonzo about that pension thing. My officers when they fire. I don't know. But look at this. Hunter Biden pleads not guilty to tax crime agreements. He had a plea deal with the government that has fallen completely apart. Now, I covered this, and I said, do you think he received preferential treatment with the government? And I told you absolutely, 100% he received preferential treatment. But when them whistleblowers came out, that killed him because now the judge and all the people who gave him the deal, they look mighty suspect now. So now it's extremely hard. He went into court today and come to find out the whole plea deal then fell apart. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. Because and I always say this, when the whistleblowers come out behind the scenes, there is a whole bunch of scrambling. And if you don't watch it, people begin to, want to preserve themselves. Ain't no preservation like self-preservation. A lot of finger points start happening. A lot of people trying to get themselves out of harm's way. A lot of people don't want to take none of the blame of none of this. So let's take a look at this clip.
Now let's get you in the know with some other stories we are tracking tonight. Today, Hunter Biden faced a judge and expected to accept a plea deal that capped a 5-year investigation. But after a tense 3-hour hearing, the agreement fell apart. President Trump instead pleaded not guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges after the Trump-appointed judge said she wouldn't rubber stamp the deal and had serious concerns. The deal started unraveling over questions about its scope. Hunter Biden's team believed it protected him against future prosecution, which was an apparent misunderstanding.
The prosecution was...
They said it was an apparent misunderstanding. Was there an apparent misunderstanding? Absolutely not. What happened is they had one whistleblower come out, then a second whistleblower came out with facts. Yeah, they start hitting you with facts. Hey, man, like I said, man, these people will start trying to preserve themselves, and they most definitely don't want to look like they're playing favoritism. You know what I mean? Where it's open and obvious. And once they got into that courtroom and they was like, oh, yeah, well, this is going to protect us from future. They like, whoa. This ain't going to protect you from future nothing, brother. This is the only thing this is about these particular circumstances and situations of this deal. It ain't got nothing to do to protect you from future prosecution about this. No. So now he's in trouble and his father's in trouble. And the Republicans going to hit hard at them guys about this whole thing. And they're going to try to impeach Biden. And don't be surprised if Democrats behind the scenes ain't rooting for this. Because they do not want Biden back in office. He's old. He's decrepit. He's an alleged 100% pedophile. Alleged 100%. But he's falling every time he can't take more than 10 steps without tripping, a gust of wind, and knock his ass over. So they don't want him back. They know he's not a good candidate.
Abundantly clear at this hearing that this was not intended to be a global agreement. The defense It was.
The federal prosecutor who led the investigations into Hunter Biden said he found nothing to implicate President Biden.
He said he's found nothing to implicate President Biden. Okay. We'll see about that. Let's take a look at this next clip. GOP weighs in on possible Biden impeachment. Let's take a look.
McCarthy floating a possible impeachment inquiry into President Biden. Yeah. Lauren, what are the House Republicans? The other House Republicans?
The House Freedom Caucus, they want McCarthy to do much more than consider it. These two members, you're about to hear from them. They say it's time to do it.
I look at the evidence. Look at the evidence. It's not against this guy. What's that? What he's done.
And Biden and his son Hunter, they have both been in cahoots together and getting real money from other foreign countries, right? Whether it be China and the Ukraine, and and they've been setting up a lot of deals, and they set these deals up in a way to where they can get paid over a lifetime. But the thing is about the Bidens, they were extremely sloppy in a lot of these things. They was using a lot of text messages, a lot of emails. There was phone calls that were recorded. There's a lot of stuff that's working against these guys at this particular point. So do I think this is going to hit the fan? Yeah, the Republicans are going to press and push this.
Some people think that what he's done isn't that bad. A lot of us, the public, it's going to be an uprising against this guy.
I'll just tell you that the evidence that I've seen is overwhelming, and it would lead one to believe that our sitting president, is corrupted and compromised.
The evidence is piling up, but is there a smoking gun? Can you convince the voting public this isn't a political tactic? Because we saw it happen 2 times with the former president.
No, not if you got enough facts. You know what I mean? You got enough people who testify who have a lot of integrity, But yeah, this is going somewhere. This is not a nothing burger. Like some people try to make it sound like, no, this is going somewhere. Let's see. Carly Russell's lawyer talks about her abduction hoax. This lady tried to abduct herself and showed up 2 days later on foot. And the biggest question is, where in the hell was she at for 2 days? And who was she with? Because she was with somebody.
An attorney for an Alabama woman who admitted she'd made up her kidnapping story, speaking publicly for the first time. Emery Anthony says he spoke with Hoover police today about next steps after Carly Russell confessed it was all a hoax. Many criminal law experts say this could include filing criminal and civil charges. Attorney Edward Merrill says Carly's initial interview with police could be the first crime addressed.
Depending on what she told law enforcement and which agency she told it to, she could be looking at obstruction of justice, she could be looking at filing false police reports, all of which in Alabama are misdemeanor, class A misdemeanor.
That charge can come with a fine, though, of up to $6,000 or a jail sentence of up to 1 year. He says a civil charge could also follow, which means Russell may be financially responsible for the resources used during her search.
Well, do I think that she should be held accountable? 100%. Do I feel like she should pay back the government for all the resources and shit they use? 100%. And they should tax a little more. And they say these ain't nothing but misdemeanors. I ain't gonna lie to you. This type of shit should be turned into a felony. This is ridiculous. You got real people going missing from serial killers, nut jobs, lunatics, psychos, and maniacs. And here your ass is out here playing kidnap. I've heard of a lot of shit. I heard people play house. I heard people play basketball. I've heard people play football. I heard people play a lot of things. I heard a nigga play a hoe, but I ain't never heard a motherfucker play kidnap. Unbelievable. Only on Sports, Life, and Politics TV. Let's take a look at this next clip. North Carolina Marines die of carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, this case is a little bit suspicious. My Negro Spidey senses is tingling. You got 3 Marines all die at a gas station. Carbon monoxide poisoning? What's really going on? Let's take a look at the clip.
We now know the cause of death for 3 Marines in North Carolina. Autopsy results reveal the men died of carbon monoxide poisoning. They were found unresponsive inside a car at a gas station in Hempstead on Sunday. It's about 30 minutes from Camp Lejeune. The Marines have been identified as 23-year-olds Ivan Garcia from Florida, and Merrick Stockery from Oklahoma, and 19-year-old Tanner Kaltenberg from Wisconsin. All of them were Lance Corporals. Investigators do not suspect foul play, but still have not yet said if those deaths are considered accidental.
That was confusing as hell at the end, wasn't it? They say it wasn't foul play, but it also hasn't been ruled out as an accident. I don't know what the hell's going on. Something ain't right. Could have been an accident, maybe, but how do you die at a gas station in the car from carbon monoxide? Was it a leak inside the car? Did somebody rig the car up? Yeah, this is, oh no. Yeah, something ain't right. I ain't never heard that. This is a new one. They used to have a TV show back in the day called A Million Ways to Die. And they died in an extremely strange way. Extremely strange. Let's take a look at this clip right here. Alicia Navarro found safe. Now, this young lady went missing in 2019. She shows back up in 2023 and said nothing happened to her and she was okay. You say, what? And she went missing. When she went missing, she was 14 years old. Let's take a look at this clip.
Did anybody hurt you in any way?
You have before?
Oh no! Look at the. Wait a minute. Did you see her eyes? Wait a minute.
Did anybody hurt you?
She shook her head no, and then her eyes went and closed and looked like I don't want to answer that question around here. Look, watch her again. My bad. Let me watch her again.
Hurt you in any way?
Nearly 4 years after.
See her eyes cut.
Alicia Navarro
I ain't buying it.
Come forward. You're with investigators over FaceTime.
Thank you for offering help to me.
She is, by all accounts, safe.
She looking mighty coached. I don't know.
By all accounts, healthy. And she is, by all accounts, happy.
This week, the 18-year-old walked into a police station in Montana and identified herself. Navarro was just 14 years old when she left this note at her Glendale home, saying
I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry, Alicia. Why no? For a 14-year-old, why does her handwriting look like a goddamn kindergartner? I mean, that's some sloppy handwriting for a 14-year-old. That's mighty strange. This girl been abused, allegedly. Yeah, I bet my bottom dollar there's something rotten in Denmark with this. And she said, I'll be back, I swear. And she's back. I don't know. Looked abused to me. Just never know.
ran away. It prompted a nationwide search.
We're hopeful that we will be able to supply this family with a little bit more closure.
Investigators are still looking into why she left and where she's been.
From the statements that she made, this started as a runaway situation. She reiterated as much. But there, of course, more dynamics at play as you start to put together the puzzle.
Police say this case is far from closed.
We know this is probably only the beginning of where this investigation will go, and that we will continue to work with our state, local, federal partners, and even across state lines to make sure that Alicia has everything that she needs.
Very strange. Very, very strange. I'm going to go over this case tomorrow. UFO whistleblower tells Congress the U.S. has likely been aware of UFOs. But I'm going to save that one for tomorrow. We're going to make this one the last one of the day. Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, freezes up in the middle of a press conference. Now, Mitch McConnell, who looks like he drinks baby blood for kicks and giggles, has to be at least 172 years old. He looked like he sleeps in a coffin. And these people are extremely old, and they still running these people out there into these press conferences. And the man just completely froze and forgot where he was. Let's take a look at the clip.
A startling moment had some people on Capitol Hill concerned today after Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell appeared to freeze while addressing the press. Take a look.
And I said Senate Majority Leader, or Senate Minority Leader, I'm sorry.
We've been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
As you can see, he froze in place like a Manchurian candidate. And all of these politicians, especially these long-term politicians like Mitch McConnell, yes, they do worship the Baphomet behind the scenes. I know people get tired of hearing it, but this is just a fact. And a lot of these people do drink blood, and a lot of these people are into all type of what they call that shit Hillary Clinton was doing in them emails, spirit cooking, and all those type of wacky things behind the scenes. There's no doubt about it. Look at him. He reminds me of that little monster man on Blade 2, that little pale vampire. Oh man, look at that shit.
And reporters, a few
He looked like a frozen toad right there.
later, McConnell walked back to the news conference by himself and took questions. When asked about his health, he said he was fine and able to do his job. He then continued to take questions as normal, finishing that press briefing.
Well, don't be surprised within the next year if you don't hear Mitch McConnell stepping down for health concerns. He looks about done, but they'll use him up for another year. They're running his Fraggle Rock looking ass out there for a little while longer, but it is what it is. But this has been Sports Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel. I'm here for the news. I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on Mitch McConnell look like a Manchurian candidate frog ride.